Oh, hi there. Cello. Hey now. Hola. And ba weep grana weep ninny bong. However you want to say it. Welcome to that Kev1 show.
Well, back for another episode, friends. It's Friday. This is the 13th episode, and Halloween may have occurred mere days ago, but my next guest will make you feel like a child again with her unstoppable imagination, creativity, and well, in the world of quote-unquote make-believe, she's accomplished so much, including awards for Best Picture. Please welcome Wendy McColm. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's a thrill to have you. You just won Best Picture at Slamdance for Fluffy Head. Your second win for Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
A lot of indie darling fans and a lot of my fans here are huge indie heads. Loved Birds Without Feathers. That's what turned me on to you first.
That's amazing. Yeah, I recommend doing a double feature watching Birds Without Feathers and Fuzzy Head.
And so to those that, might not be quite familiar with the premise of Fluffy Head, what could you tell us about this, really enchanting, thriller that, I got a lot of buzz from a lot of my friends who sent me the trailer. I'm like, yeah, I'm communicating with her. She's going to be on the show. So I know it's getting a lot of buzz.
Did they see the trailer before?
Yeah, some friends, some indie friends told me about it beforehand. So, yeah.
Incredible. That's just great news. Fuzzy Head is about a girl that goes on the run after the murder of her mother. And she has to go through childhood trauma and memories to confront her everlasting void and find out the truth of what really happened.
Oh. It just looks incredible. The lighting, everything, just, yeah. Oh.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely a labor of love and time and effort and truth. I think that's such an important thing in filmmaking. I was pretty much called to do this film, and it was definitely one of those films where you're like, all right, well, this is going to take who knows how long, and it ended up taking 3 years.
Oh, wow.
I feel like people, at first you would think as a filmmaker, especially indie filmmaker, you're like, and maybe people listening can relate to this and hopefully feel free from hearing me say this, but it's at first you feel like, damn it, I'm not doing it fast enough, it needs to do it now. But actually when you really realize that it's a luxury to spend that much time on art, on a piece, you kind of just fall into it more and more, and really just it creates basically the great movie that we all get to see now, Fuzzy Head.
Oh, no, yeah, I totally get it. I feel the same way. It's kind of that's how I look at, writing, for example. When someone says, there's so many projects that, you probably definitely can relate to this, where you have so many plates spinning at once, different projects and stuff, and I just see it as, a developing picture. So whenever I have writer's block on one thing, I go to another. So it's the more time you have to, really let it be what it is, let it breathe.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
And I feel like friends who have, I think my next feature, I probably won't get this luxury, which is great. I'm ready for that next challenge of complete something within 20 days or less,
Ooh, yeah.
But it's the greats, One Car Y and stuff. One of my favorite movies is Happy Together, and I believe that took him about 3 years to make, and you just kind of think wow, it's just really not done like this anymore.
Yeah. No, totally. Huh. Well, you're mentioning that your next one is going to have to be in a hurry. Is there a specific follow-up to Fluffy Head right now?
It's basically, I have 2 written, and I'm getting approached by a decent amount of people. One, I really believe I was going to make a comedy straight out the gate because, one, I'm just ready to laugh again, and I feel free from all the Fuzzy Head trauma, which is just, okay, great, I'm free. I started in comedy. I feel like I feel like there's really not that many classic comedies out that really, have character development or a story that ends up making you cry at the end because you're so connected to the character, having that cathartic feeling. So I was like, yeah, I want to do a classic. I'm just really addicted to making classic type films and keeping that art alive. So I have that actually ready, and I just know that with the budget and star power and stuff like that, the more you go up there in names, because even with Fuzzy Head, we had Alicia Witt, Richard Bryle, and Fred Melamed. We just to name a few, and it's like you have very, very limited time with actors because of budget, and even if you go up in the millions in budget, you're still going to have a limited time. You're not going to be like, great, let's spend 3 years on this, keep your same hair, it's like, you can't do that, and it's just like, I got a little taste of that with these actors. We only shot with Alicia 4 days, cramming all of her scenes into 4 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and if you've seen it, it's like, how did you shoot all of her stuff in all of those locations in 4 days? It's like, you just have to. You really do. And same with everybody else, Fred and everybody. It's like, you just have to make it work. And I hear, like, I have friends who work on Netflix movies and shows, and they're like, Wendy, you don't get another take. Like, that's what you're in for once you get into the big, like, Netflix and all that stuff. Like, you think you get more budget, you get more time, you get more. No. It doesn't work that way unless you get, like, a Martin Scorsese budget. So it's like, it's really kind of putting in perspective, like, really, understanding, like, you get a taste of it and you're like, okay, yeah, like and honestly, I don't want to spend 3 years on the next movie. I would like to make a decent amount of films. I have written not only that comedy one, I started a 1970s series back in the day called Bitches, 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 and reviving that. So, there's just a lot in the works right now. So it's like, it just depends what will sell first. I know, I had the call the other day. They're like, actually, we're more interested in Bitches, Bitches, Bitches right now. And I'm being pitched with a bunch of horror film scripts because of Fuzzy Head. And it's really just dealers, it's just like whatever happens. But I know it will be under 20 days, not 3 years.
Yeah. It is so wild, the world of film, and a lot of people out there who, like, maybe aren't actors or performers like that. Like, it's just so wild how different the different levels are, the different avenues. Like, I've done like 48-hour film festivals, and sometimes that's almost as stressful as like a mainstream thing, just because the time constraints and everything. And I've done independent films at different levels, and you've done so many things like sitcoms and stuff. Somebody can't even mention some of the people's favorite sitcoms and stuff. What's your favorite genre, like, naturally wise? It sounds like you're kind of like perfect at all of them, really. But what's your favorite, like,
I love a dark comedy, but I feel like Birds Without Feathers is a dark comedy. But honestly, I don't have a favorite because Fuzzy Head is a thriller, surreal thriller, and I love things that aren't just like one genre. It's like it's a surreal thriller. It's definitely not just a thriller. I would say I really do try to take the daring route. And if my intuition is saying this is the kind of film you will make, I will make that. I had a lot of success with comedy in the beginning of my career, and I think 4 or 5 years into that, I'm like getting this feeling that I wanted to trust, which was like, hey, you've done that. You have these other ideas, and yeah, they could fail. They could be horrible because you don't know what people will think. Or I've not also made that. So I just got addicted in a very artistic way to just trying whatever seemed right at the time, like in my heart, like what would guide me to the next genre. So, that in case in point, making the first Bitches, like little series I made, that was, 10 years ago now. And the fact that that's being revived now into a feature, you're just like, that really got my feet wet in that genre. And I'm like, now, like, all I can do is think about the images for how that's going to be, like, 4.0, you know, like, get it all the way. So I really couldn't say my favorite, because I try to be one of those artists that, you know, I couldn't imagine. People used to compare me to Wes Anderson, and I you know, I don't know why necessarily, maybe the center framing, but he's not the only one that does that. So anyway, there's a longer conversation in that, but why people pick people to compare people to. But I can only imagine if I had a career like that, I'd probably be a little tired, because it's like, can you really do the same, like, monotone speaking in every single, I mean, I'm tired of it. So I can't imagine, like, or maybe he's happy with, you know, doing that, but I'm personally not happy with sticking with one formula.
No, same. Yeah, if I blew up from any one thing, I would definitely try to do the opposite with my next couple roles if I could, you know. If I wasn't contractually,
you have to do it.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. Huh. Wow.
I think Natalie Portman, just for an acting standpoint, I think Natalie Portman had to do that. Do you remember when she did Your Highness with...
Oh my God. I love that you bring up Your Highness. I love Your Highness. I've showed that to so many people who never heard of it. I'm like, how did you never hear? I know it didn't do the greatest commercially in theaters, but I mean, it's amazing. It's like perfect. It's one of my favorite James Franco things. Natalie Portman's just incredible in it. Of course, Danny McBride. It's just so... Justin Theroux. It's my favorite Justin Theroux thing off the top of my head for sure. Performance-wise.
It's hilarious. I'm like literally never mentioned this in any conversation in my life. I'm like just channeling through the phone. I just bring it up because she ended up just doing that and saying fuck it, because she got so much backlash for showing her ass in a Wes Anderson short film.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, she got so
I wasn't
much
familiar with that.
backlash.
What short film was it? Was it some...
It was like hotel something. It was like,
wow.
Another hotel thing. But she was in a short with Jason Schwartzman. I can't remember the name. Apology. That was a while ago. So she got so much backlash for showing her ass, and she's been this, like, perfect, you know, female star, and she's been selective on her roles, and they still got her.
Professional
so
darling,
like, yeah. So that year she was like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah, speaking of, I think I want to say off the trailer, at least the Red Band trailer that I remember, like it shows her ass. She's like, you know, they freeze frame. They freeze because they get caught staring at her undressing after a battle.
Yeah, and I think she was just like, "Take that. I don't give a shit about you."
Oh wow.
And it's like, I think as filmmakers, like, that's just one example that just came to mind. But you know, it's like, once you go all the way a different way, it's like you can't be stuck in a box, and I can't imagine being stuck in a box, because that would be so much pressure to be like, well, that did well, let me do it well again. And sure, pay me for a 3-picture deal, I'll do it well 3 times in a row for you. For sure. But like, I'm talking like artist where my work.
Yeah, you got to keep the art of it, otherwise it's just a job. Like you know what? I never conceptualized this into like words, but like I guess I don't think I would ever take a role that I would only do for money. Like I think, you know, of course you want to get paid if you can, but I mean,
you said you won't?
I won't. I mean, I know. I mean, I'm saying,
I will.
Well, did I word that right? I'm saying, but I'm saying I would do. I mean, I want to get paid, but it's like I wouldn't take a role that I wouldn't do for free. If I couldn't get paid, you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? Yeah. Like, there's no joy in it. I don't want it to just feel like a job. Yeah, I want to get paid millions for it. Sure, I definitely want. I want to play Wolverine for money, of course, but I'd love to play Wolverine for free. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm like, the pandemic was so hard, and just story of making Fuzzy Head is honestly probably too TMI, but just how it got produced and how we finished it. It's just like, in the end, you know, I'm living on vacant land in a desert somewhere just so I can afford to finish the movie. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
It is crazy. I mean, anybody who ever listens to this, just posting and resharing it or watching it, I mean, like, this is, I don't know, it's a miracle. Making anything's a miracle.
No, definitely. Yeah. It almost feels like, you know how they say, like, you never leave high school? It almost feels like you never leave independent film. Because I've had so many friends who've worked on this or that stuff. I don't know if we could say whatever we're allowed to say on the strike, but like big movie projects and TV series. And sometimes it's just so ghetto still. You're like cold. You're working hard. It's like it's war. It's like film is war.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
Well, it's like when I look at, I don't know. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the next feature because I really do believe deep down it. You know, I direct commercials, so like that. You know, one commercial is worth, 6 fuzzy heads. So it's kind of crazy, honestly, the commercial budgets I'm getting to work with. And that's definitely not indie. And I think it's just Netflix budgets, they're small, but they're not that small. It's just more like time. And that's why I think this ghetto thing you're saying is like, yeah, it's true. It's like, it seems so like, oh my God, let's hurry up. But it's like, that's all it is. It's like people like being like, hurry up.
It's almost like it's not glamorous at all. Like the idea of it's glamorous, maybe the aftermath, the reflecting back on it might be glamorous. You know, you're winning all these awards now, but like doing it, you're like, you're cold. There's no sleep. It's like, is my right shoe on? It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so weird. There was this whole cancel culture, especially during the pandemic, and sometimes we would shoot during the pandemic because, like luckily we recruit up and we continued shooting and stuff. And it's just like, I feel like the younger generation were like so into canceling. They're like, don't hire people for a lower rate just because they're new. You have to pay them the higher rate and all that stuff, which I agree if you're HBO, but also just like, wow, it's like some of the people, like if you're learning how to do sound, you should definitely tell somebody that instead of pretend that you don't know that you know what you're doing. Because man, some of the sound we got on this film, all this stuff, it's like, I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, but it's just like
you had to redo stuff, or like some of the sets didn't work, or
we paid decent money, and it's just like I think people just expect you to be HBO, like the glamorous thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're like, why is everybody tired? Why is everybody angry? Or why today aren't you just sitting back having a coffee, director? I'm like, I am 50 jobs on this. Like, there is no AD. I'm the AD.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking like an AD, but I'm also the director. And surprise, I'm the actor.
And it's funny, and Fluffy Head probably has your heart and soul in like 3 years, like of your life, like you said. But like the craft service sounds like it might have just been like some Nature Valley bars and some water. Meanwhile, a commercial has like 3-course meals of like all this stuff,
And like 50 AC.
Yeah, for like a 60-second thing. Yeah.
What can I get you, Miss McColm? We respect you highly for just filming a picture of a phone.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's really wild, and I do think like it's exactly like you're saying. It seems very glamorous, but like I would say, if you enjoy dedication and persistence and hard work, like all keywords that are kind of becoming red flags in this society. You will like being on set, but like if you're expecting it to be like kosher, like perfect, people to be perfect. I mean, what was that movie? It kind of flopped. It was that movie that came out maybe 2 years ago about filmmaking. It kind of looked like The Great Gatsby, but it was like not The Great Gatsby. You know what I'm talking about?
No, like it looked like
Margot Robbie in it.
Oh my God. Okay, I know exactly the movie you're talking about, and I saw it recently on Amazon. I loved it. It's like literally one of the best pictures of the year, in my opinion. Babylon, right?
That's correct. And so, like,
why did it bomb?
Dying.
I can't believe it bombed. I told people to watch it. Yeah, I told people to watch it, and like people are like, it's like it seems like no one heard of it. It's like I don't believe in usually conspiracies, but I'm like, how did no one hear about this Margot Robbie Brad Pitt film?
Personally, I think people were shunning it because this is just my opinion. I don't know. I definitely saw it.
Yeah.
I think people were like, "You're not the Great Gatsby." I think they just had this impression of it. Yeah.
It's just so weird. It got buried or something, didn't it? It's like so weird.
It was also 3 hours. 3 hours long.
Well, it flew by for me when I watched it. Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem short, mind you, when I saw it. at home.
No, definitely.
But,
I think it could have been 20 minutes cut out pretty
But it
easily.
seemed,
but I guess it was that director's life story.
it seemed like a movie that like literally would be a Hollywood, like an Oscar darling, like Catnip. But I think it bombed like up the wazoo.
It bombed, but I will say the scenes I liked in it were, you know, and yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool, and the romanticism of, no, maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe I'll get canceled.
Oh, God.
The romanticism of people dying
to make a movie.
Films, but that's the truth.
Oh,
that was the truth. He wasn't making that up. That really is true, and I know they still do. And like, there's a big thing, but now, like back in the day, in his movie. See, so let's put this on the record. I'm not like, yeah, I'm glad people are dying now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm definitely not. But back in the day, when there was like way less technology, way less things in his movie, the way he depicts it, it's, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's romanticism.
Just that,
probably not cool.
The whole thing where the main character is getting Brad Pitt's like Hollywood legend character ready, and he's like a drunk all on set, and the guy's like fighting with people downtown to get a camera, and Brad Pitt can barely stand up, and he walks on a set with the perfect shot when the butterfly lands on him.
We're
it's just like
romanticizing this, but we're like so problematic right now. We're like, we're problematic.
we're the Bill Burrs of filmmakers, like teetering on the brink of cancellation right now.
I know. Well, you know, he made it look very romantic. He shot it like it was The Great Gatsby, and you know, it is a problem.
I guess that might have been it, but wild.
It's great. It's whatever.
What seems weird that I feel like it has to be a cult classic eventually, but it seems weird because it's had such a big budget, and Margot freaking Robbie and Brad Pitt.
Let's take a poll. I also think people are tired of her talking with a Jersey accent, but this is just what I gathered from when I was asking people, why didn't you like it? You know, like...
people didn't like it that saw it too? You say?
Oh, yeah. People were like, so self-indulgent. You know, it's like, what?
Huh. Interesting.
Also, I don't get that either. There's like... many people in history, Charlie Chaplin, like, who filmed themselves as a director, and then, like, now we have this culture that's demonizing. Even I'm acting in Fuzzy Head, which is, you know, based off true life events, but, you know, I've been an actor before, and I just thought it'd be a good last hurrah before I exit, if I exit acting, but it's interesting, like, to hear people sometimes saying, oh, it's so self-indulgent and da-da-da. It's like, I don't know, the people I admire have all done that. So there's like amazing filming. I mean, even back to Frida Kahlo, who painted herself because she needed to feel herself to be alive. I mean, because she couldn't get out of bed. I mean, that's an incredible, you know, and like sometimes I really don't even know if I exist in the world, and filming myself really brought me to understand how to feel. And now that I've kind of come to terms with how to feel, especially after making Fuzzy Head, you know, I feel like very fulfilled, and I feel very ready to just keep the lens on other people and provide that for them. It's really one of my greatest joys.
Wow. Where can we see Fuzzy Head? Or Fluffy Head, sorry. Fuzzy Head?
No, Fuzzy Head.
Yeah. I don't know why. I have a note in front of me that says Fluffy Head for some reason.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
I think it's for my sound tech. Who hasn't seen it, but I haven't seen it. I've seen the trailer so far, but where can we see Fuzzy? I know it won at Slamdance, for example. Is it in theaters, indie theaters, or...?
It showed already last week, and so now it's just basically everywhere. Gravitas Ventures picked it up, and it's taking speed right now. So basically, we're just doing our best to get it in the hands of people and push it out there.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of everywhere. Like they told me it's on cable.
Wow. Okay, I'll look for it. I'll look for it after this. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Please watch it.
Everybody.
Please, the new trailer came out today, like the more commercial one. Share it. It really, truly is in the hands of the people. Films like this and careers like mine, and that's how we keep art alive.
Yeah. So there's not like an official site I should tell people to go to?
No site is Gravitas Film. And,
Gravitas Film. Google Fuzzy Head, Wendy McColm, and you'll be there.
You can Google Fuzzy Head. Head, Wendy McColm, or Fuzzy Head, Apple TV. I think that's the best rental price.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on wherever the heck. They sent me a huge list of carriers, but it's pretty much out there, and it's trending on IMDb. So go rate it a 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Seriously, all the clicks, and I hate to keep plugging, but it's like, if you have Letterboxd, put it on your top 5 for a week. I mean, that's how people see the name and see the film, you know, like stuff like that.
Very cool. Yeah, the trailer was outstanding. So many character actors, like you mentioned. There were just like so many like people that like everyone knows, like Fred and just everyone. Oh, I mean, it was just like
yeah. Sure, it's great. Everybody's in there. We have Rain Phoenix in there.
Oh my gosh.
Numa Perrier, who's an amazing director in her own right. She's also actor as well, and a festival darling as well.
Oh. And so to piggyback off like the premise of it, 'cause I remember in the trailer like the character in the bathtub being accused. Like, have you ever been wrongly accused of anything in your life? I definitely was, like, as a child, for sure. But I mean, I
think that's what it's calling back to. It's like it's just the underlying tone of the film is shame, and this character is ridden with shame and PTSD, and it manifests in her real life until she finds out the true story of everything that's happened.
Okay, wow. Huh. Well, that is outstanding. And so after that intensity, you say your next project is hopefully a comedy, or?
I mean, we'll see if it's the comedy, which I don't tell my log lines anymore, because one time somebody stole it once.
Really? Okay.
They made a movie with Anna Kendrick. And
what?
I was like, wow, that's really fucked up.
From your wow, okay. Jeez.
Yeah.
I remember when I was living in LA, I was in Burbank, and so many people told me, and I did this so many times. I don't know where they are now, but I would do the poor man's patent. Have you heard of that? Where you email it all to yourself, or sorry, mail it to yourself.
Right.
And so, just in case, I never had to go to court or anything, but man, that's insane.
So wild. I was like, well, all right. Cool. I was like, luckily I had written Fuzzy Head before Birds Without Feathers, actually.
Huh.
So I just wasn't ready to like confront this demon and this subject matter. So it was it's a perfect like 1-2 punch, I think, like dealing with the things the characters deal with in Birds Without Feathers to like actually confronting it in Fuzzy Head.
Oh, jeez. And I see that you're a UCB alum, so that definitely helps with the war and film, with the whole yes and spirit, never giving up.
Oh yeah, I'm trained in Meisner, so I really I really love using that with behind the camera. It's kind of intense for people, speaking to people on set and stuff. Like if you haven't been on a movie or seen somebody like behind a camera that actually has emotions, I mean, it's going to be off-putting for people. I like to have emotions behind the camera, because I think if somebody in the scene is having those emotions, I like to make sure they can feel that behind the camera, and it gives them that extra electricity. I feel like, everyone is extra talented in this film, and then I just want to add to the electricity. I think you can feel everything in a film, so it's just like whatever you can get in there. So yeah.
Oh. And one thing, I was watching RoboCop with my crew member here, and like they brought up that you did a RoboCop remake, like,
oh my God,
or something.
Nobody watched that, please. That.
I was like,
oh my God, they even told me we're not putting that in the RoboCop remake, because everybody had to add a scene. It was for Channel 101. Dan Harmon's like.
Oh yeah, I loved you. The Lonely Island came from there, and Computer Man with Jack Black. I remember that. Yeah, is that still a thing in Hollywood, or?
It is. It's still a thing. I don't know.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
I've been involved in it for quite some time, and they were like, "We're not putting your scene in it. It's going to ruin it." And I was like, "F you. It's funny. Put it in." And then, like, they only put it in one of the screenings, and oh my god, it's literally atrocious. Like, I just thought, because I really think I only saw RoboCop once, and I just thought, I just saw Spirit of Channel 101.
Yeah.
Let's make RoboCop a robo butt, and then just make it a butt. And it was literally, it's probably like one of those things where you laugh at like years later. Like, I'm laughing now, but like, I'm just like, what? Why did I do that? Like, that's insane. Like, I just thought, oh, let's just make this as weird and crazy as possible. And it totally was, like, not in the vein of the
not
whole
the,
string of
yeah.
like, so, you know, we all flop sometimes.
So do not look for the RoboCop remake.
Do not, or actually, if you want to see a robo butt and see how crazy I was and said, put that in the scene of the movie, and I completely committed to my vision, go see it.
So it's in one scene, or you're saying?
Yeah,
like...
everybody does a scene, and then it makes a remake.
Oh, yeah, I did that for, I did that when COVID started. I don't want to say his name wrong. I think I'm remembering his name wrong, so I'm not going to say it. But he directed The Last Blockbuster, about the last Blockbuster store. But we did Back to the Future 2. It was called Project 88, if you look for it on IMDb. But yeah, it was Marty McFly in a couple scenes. So, yeah.
I didn't hear about that. Okay, I will watch
yeah. I'm in the 1955 scene. So.
You are? That's amazing.
I don't do a Marty McFly butt, but, you know, if I had that idea, maybe I would have.
That's amazing.
Well, thank you very much. High praise coming from you.
Yeah, no, I gotta see it.
Well, thanks so much, Wendy McColm. I've took up enough of your time. I know you're busy with promoting Fuzzy Head. And
yes, thanks.
your new work with Bitches.
Oh, thank you so much. I love to hear that that's probably the vote, but I didn't tell you the name of the other one. But
yeah.
I'll keep that under wraps. Bitches is the only one I can disclose now because it's out, kind of.
Or maybe, as the kids will call it, Bitches to the Third Power, probably, you know.
Okay. A little bit of a sci-fi feel.
All right, Wendy, well, thanks again so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, and have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. And that was film wonderkind Wendy McColm. Check out Fuzzy Head. Check out all her projects, including, some Robo-Butt for RoboCop. And Birds Without Feathers, another film of hers that won Best Picture at Slamdance. Well, friends, the theater lights have come back on overhead. Please clean up the candy wrappers you snuck in and traverse safely. See you next week, or superfans online at patreon.com/TheKev1Show. Good night.
That Kev1 Show is brought to you in part by T-Mobile, the Uncarrier. This portion of That Kev1 Show is supported by Bohemian Dream Gifts, made with organic and natural oils that nourish and hydrate your skin. Man, I don't know if it's the weather outside or the gym that was killing my skin, because my right elbow on the, it itched like the Dickens, like I was becoming like the lizard from Marvel Comics. I think it's that machine where you put your elbow in and do the lifts, for the bicep. But I was itching my skin like crazy during, I won't say who because I don't want them associated with rough skin, with one of our guests here in the near future here. But my right elbow was getting ashy and coming up, getting red and irritated. Anyway, I used some of the promotional cookie dough body oil from Bohemian Dream Gifts that they gave us, and my skin, I'm not kidding, came back. I can vouch for that one. The cookie dough oil body oil. The cookie dough body oil brought my skin back to life like an Evanescence song. I'm not kidding. My skin is smooth and happy again. 100%. You can buy cookie dough oil on Etsy at the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop. Check out their other stuff as well, but that's one that I swear by now. And as soon as my promotional one runs out, I'm going to order some myself. So go to Etsy and visit the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop today.